Shove it, man! Alright Hawkermaniacs, back again. This is your polite reminder that TNA Slammiversary is today. So watch it or I'll smack you one. This is the Go Home show. I reviewed the one last week, links in the description below if you want to check that out. Pre-warning before I start, I am watching this from the perspective of a brand new fan who doesn't know anything that's been going on. If Impact doesn't clearly explain something, then it's a fail, because a brand new fan would not be doing research into the show. Anyway, I'm genuinely hyped for this pay-per-view, and you should be too. It will be the first Impact pay-per-view I've watched in a few years. This is a massive night for Impact. They will have the most viewers they've had in a few years. People are finally willing to give the show another try. People are bored with the WWE, and the shine seems to be coming off AEW. Impact can be the alternative, but they need to succeed tonight. Succeed, and they can bring the fans back. Fail, and the majority will write them off forever. A lot of people didn't see Impact ever getting an opportunity like this again. Fair play to them for getting in this position. I'm right behind you guys. So let's see if this Go Home show can bring in some new viewers for tonight. And if you don't watch this Shove It squad, you're stuck in the damn past like the Hawk. I'm also quickly just going to throw in that this show and last week's show were both disrupted by some of the wrestlers being dropped from the shows at the last minute, and Impact had to scramble to fill these segments. So if the show's not amazing, it's not completely their fault. Kiera Hogan and her partner, who I haven't been introduced to yet, are doing some dance in the middle of the ring, and it looks like it might have been quite entertaining, but it's cut out and they're given the jobber entrance treatment. I talked up how deep the Knockouts division was last week, and you will get to see that here in this massive Knockouts tag match. Kiera and her friend team up with Rosemary, Taya Valkyrie and Kimberly the Clown. The opponents are Havoc and Avea. Havoc is still being billed from Defiance, Ohio. I always found that town name quite funny. They're also teaming up with Alicia Edwards, Susie Young and Kylie Ray. Kiera Hogan's friend is beaten up and teamed up on early on. Havoc has already got instantly better from her time in TNA a few years back. Kiera Hogan's friend is then finally introduced as Tasha Steelz. Susie Young then hits a dive onto the outside. Alicia Edwards is then tossed over the top rope by Havoc onto everybody. Havoc then hits a massive dive onto the outside. Wow, did not expect that from her, that is impressive. Havoc is then taken out on the outside to end her run of dominance. Just to pre-warn you all, I will probably keep ripping on Madison Rayne, who's on commentary here. She is terrible, and she will also be competing in the Knockouts match at the pay-per-view for the #1 contendership. Back in the ring, there's a nice German suplex that almost ends Kylie here. This match ends with the first pinfall. Madison says her interview segment last week was amazing and drew in amazing ratings. I thought it was embarrassing and stupid personally. You know, there's something I really like about this Kiera Hogan. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I wouldn't mind seeing her feud with Jordynne Grace for the Knockouts Championship. Kylie is still being isolated, but is able to keep kicking out of moves. She eventually does tag out, and Tasha Steelz hits a near perfect RKO. The match then breaks down and everybody starts hitting moves and ignoring the referee. Taya and Rosemary are grinning like the cats who got the cream. The match ends when Susie Young hits the panic switch on Kylie the Clown. She seems to be the resident jobber in the division. As a new fan, I don't know why Susie Young is looking so crazy, but from what I hear she seems to be reverting back to her former character Sue Young. The brawl continues after the match and everyone is throwing punches and kicks, but the person I want to see get a fist the most is unfortunately at home on commentary of Josh Matthews. A great match that got me excited for the match at the pay-per-view. I have no idea which way this match will go at the pay-per-view, but hopefully it won't go Madison's way. Tonight Moose and a partner of his choosing will be taking on Tommy Dreamer and Crazy Steve. I hope they do something to raise the stakes in this match because I'm not looking forward to seeing Moose versus Tommy Dreamer for the title. Next up, there's a segment with Ace Austin and a man I haven't met yet, sitting in a car talking about how much they hate Dayton, Ohio. It sounds like they're going to a gym. This should be good. Wish they would take half the guys on the show there with them. Moose is backstage begging Hernandez to be his tag partner tonight, but Hernandez is too busy arm wrestling Rhino, and they both say no. Rhino then beats Hernandez and challenges him to a fight outside. Something that confused me a little bit here. These two were arm wrestling last week, so have they been arm wrestling for an entire week at this point? They're arm wrestling last week, they're continuing their same arm wrestling match this week, but Moose is there this week for the tag match. I don't know. Have they messed up? You tell me. Next up, it's the flashback moment of the week. It's Ultimate X, and I think it's from about 2014. I ripped on these moments last week because they last way too long. Everyone told me these segments have been going on for a while on the show, but they might be longer than usual, possibly due to a number of segments being removed at the last minute. I'm not going to spend too much time on it like I did last week, but the next time, Impact, record some damn interviews or hype the pay-per-view. Sabin wins the match and the X Division title. Moving on. Next up, the Fat Boys come out to the ring, causing the camera to shake. They certainly weren't in Dayton, Ohio. They will be taking on Cody and Cousin Jake Dina. These guys won last week in a 4-team tag match. Cousin Jake finally gets knocked down after the two men run into each other a few times. He then fights back with a slam. Madison asks on commentary if they reinforced the ring tonight. I'm not sure, but I'm having Cheeks flashbacks here. Josh Matthews says that this Ace guy is a specimen. A specimen of what exactly? The other Fat Boy thinks he's won the match with a powerbomb, but the blind tag was made, and Cousin Jake rolls him up. He looks so goofy and stupid here. Scott Steiner's least favourite tag team then attack the Dinas because they lost and they're bad losers. They then hit a double team move from the top rope and almost kill Cousin Jake. Backstage, Moose is still trying to find a tag team partner, but it doesn't look like he's very popular. They should just have him go at it alone like Bobby Lashley would have done. Moose approaches some bald guy and calls him his last resort. This bald guy gets so upset with Moose, but then he agrees to tag with him. Moose doesn't sound too excited about tagging up with him. Johnny Swinger is backstage talking to Billy Corben from the Smashing Pumpkins. Wow, I didn't ever expect to see him again in TNA. Anyway, he allows Johnny Swinger to be in Chris Bay's corner for the X Division title at Slammiversary. Swinger rushes off to inform Chris Bay that he'll be in his corner, but he catches him chatting up a woman. Chris Bay asks if he wants to come home with him and make some movies. He then laughs about how he's using Johnny Swinger. Swinger of course is listening behind the door, and he tells Chris Bay that he won't be in his corner at Slammiversary. He looks so sad, bless him. Next up is a package hyping how devastating Deonna Purrazzo's armbar finisher is. I'm really hyped for this match despite never seeing her in a match before. Last week Jordynne Grace beat Kimberly the Clown in a good match. The two meet here across a table to have a contract signing. They're really giving this match the main event treatment, which is cool. Deonna is talking trash about Jordynne Grace, so Jordynne Grace slams her face into the table, and then she threatens Jimmy Jacobs. Jordynne Grace is really channeling her inner Scott Steiner here. She's awesome, she's my favourite thing on the show. She's been great since I've been watching again. Next up, there's hype for the tag titles. The North are taking on Sami Callihan and Ken Shamrock. They are dubbing themselves as the world's most dangerous tag team. Last week, Sami beat Josh Alexander after Ken Shamrock came to his aid. Shamrock and Callihan previously feuded, so they are tag partners who don't get on. Moose is out next. I was quite sad to see that they'd gotten rid of his original Moose entrance theme song, where he used to fist pump, although I'm not quite sure how that would work with no fans in attendance. Moose's tag team partner is the bald man that he found backstage earlier on. It's cool to see Crazy Steve again here. He was one of my favourite wrestlers when he was in the Decay. His partner is a mark who ate Tommy Dreamer. I will say from my time that I've been back watching Impact that the wrestlers' theme songs could be better. I haven't heard a single memorable song yet. They all seem to sound like they're from the same genre of music. Moose is still great here. I'm surprised he stayed with Impact this long. Why hasn't he gone elsewhere? Someone let me know down below. I also found out on my video last week that Moose is not the world champion. He found the old TNA world title and now he's the self-proclaimed champion. Tommy nails Moose in the ring with a DDT and then the cruiserweights have a fun fight for a while. Moose and Tommy are fighting on the outside, and while this is going on, Crazy Steve puts away Goldilocks with a DDT. This was not acceptable hype for the main event, probably because Tommy Dreamer was never meant to be in this match in the first place. Meanwhile, in a car park in Dayton, Ohio, it looks like Ace Austin has finally arrived at the gym. Back at the Impact Zone, Hernandez and Rhino start fighting outside over a roll of money. They are playing epic dramatic music the whole time. You can tell that whoever produced this segment had a lot of fun. Hernandez yells, "Where's my money, punk?" into a cone. Rhino then hits a bad looking gore into a fence, and both men collapse and agree to split the money. It went a little long, but it was good fun original stuff. This is where the show goes off the cliff next. You might as well turn off here. There's a very long video package about the main event 4-way. It sounds like this Trey boy is more interested in beating up Ace Austin than winning the World Championship. They keep comparing Ace Austin to AJ Styles. I don't want to be that guy, but just to point out that AJ Styles wasn't ugly with pink hair. The gym segment is up next. Man, this gave me cravings to get back in the gym. Gyms are reopening 25th Shove It Squad. It wasn't clear how much they were lifting here, so I have nothing to rip on, sorry. They then spend some time hyping the mystery guy at Slammiversary again. Man, I'm so buzzed to find out who's coming. Up next, another video package. Ugh, I don't care about Eddie Edwards. Never have, never will. Alright Mark, keep calm. It's not worth getting upset about, is it? Impact's been hit with the COVID cruncher. At least they hyped the pay-per-view well. TNA used to be terrible at that. Well, apart from the X Division title, Some things never change, hey? The little rascals are walking along in Dayton, Ohio, and they see that Ace Austin is at their gym. I didn't know they had a gym. Ace Austin is bullying some man in the ring, but then the rascals run in. Ace Austin and Trey proceed to have what looks like a fake indie wrestling match. I'm sorry, look, it looks so bad. I'm hoping and praying that there are some legit main eventers coming to Impact at Slammiversary. This looks like their weakest division after a lot of their best guys left. This really is a crossroads for Impact. Will they steam forward and progress, or will they be stuck going the wrong way for eternity? Anyway, it goes on forever. There's not really a winner. The show then ends with Scott D'Amore finding out the name of somebody who's coming to Slammiversary. He looks pretty happy about it. I don't think there were many clues here apart from they kept showing a parcel delivery lorry. Not sure what that's about. Just going to give you some quick thoughts because you've all got a pay-per-view to watch today. A good go-home show. I'm looking forward to all the women's matches, and I'm really looking forward to the main event because I'm genuinely excited to find out who the mystery guy is. Also have to point out a surprising lack of gimmick matches for the pay-per-view. I think the Moose vs Dreamer match is the only one. And if I'm wrong about that, I don't care. Watch the damn show and give it a chance, because I am Shove It Squad.